Hi, I'm Heather from Heather Handmade, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a DIY fabric tray. Please like this video and follow my channel for lots of sewing projects. A fabric tray is great for organizing or storing since you can put things in it. It's a really easy sewing project. It's all straight lines and it's essentially sewing a rectangle. You can make it like this one where the sides are sewn and it's permanent, or you can make it like this one where you add snaps to the side. So once you undo the snaps, it's just a flat rectangle and it's easy to store. And then when you need it to be a tray again, you snap the snaps. This is a great beginner sewing project. You can use it as gifts. There's so many fun fabrics that you can use. You just use quilting cotton, and quilting cotton has the best prints. If you make a smaller tray, you just need a fat quarter of fabric, but if you want a larger tray, then you'll maybe need a third to a half of a yard. It's a great way to use up your scraps of fabric, and you can make really tiny trays or bigger trays. So let's get started. To make a DIY fabric tray, you're going to need about a fat quarter of quilting cotton. You can have more if you want. I'm going to make one tray out of this fabric. I'm going to use the same fabric on the outside as I am on the inside, so that's why I'm doing this. You can do any size of rectangle you want, as long as you just account for, you're going to have about 1.5 inches will be used on the sides, you know, for the sides of the tray. You're also going to need some light to medium weight fusible interfacing. So I have this, and you're going to use it on both the inner fabric and the outer fabric to make it extra stiff so that it will hold its shape. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut this fabric. See, this is a big rectangle. I'm going to cut it into 2 rectangles that are the exact same size. Now take your fusible interfacing and you are going to cut out your 2 rectangles out of the interfacing. Now you have your interfacing, so what we're going to do next is we are going to fuse the fabric and the interfacing together. So now that the interfacing has been fused, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to place our rectangles right sides together. If you have something that's directional, I would recommend having the direction going the same way, like this is the top and this is the top. So place your rectangles right sides together and pin around the sides. Now with a straight stitch on your sewing machine, you're going to sew around the rectangle, but you need to leave a hole, back stitch when you start and back stitch when you end. Leave a hole so that you can turn it right side out. So now take some scissors and we are going to trim the corners to reduce the bulk when you turn it right side out. Now you're going to turn it right side out and push out your corners. Now we're going to press all the edges flat. You want them nice and crisp. So you want that seam to be on the edge, so you kind of have to roll it to push it out. And make sure when you press where the hole is, that you're pressing that seam allowance inside so that it will be a nice, crisp edge like that. Now you are going to edge stitch all the way around your rectangle, and make sure you edge stitch over your hole, and that will close your hole and you don't have to do any hand stitching. Once the edge stitching is done, this is completely finished. The last thing we need to do is we are going to do the corners. I'm going to show you two different ways to do the corners. So this one I'm going to do with plastic snaps, and this one, which I've already made, is I'm going to do with a sewing machine. So let me show you the snaps first. These are just plastic snaps that I like to use. You can use other snaps if you want to. So what we're going to do is you are going to match up. If you fold at the corner, you want to match up your two long edges like this, and you want the corner to be 1 inch tall, so it makes 1 inch tall sides of your tray. Find that spot, and then kind of near the top, that's where we are going to mark for the snap. So I'm using my awl to poke a hole, and I'm actually doing both sides at the same time, so then I make sure I get the spot in the right place. So then take one side of your snap and attach it. And then do the same to your other side, but you are going to use the other side of the snap. So then when you snap it, it creates that nice corner right there, but it can be undone when you need it to, or it can be, when you snap it, then you make the sides. So now we're going to do the same to all of the corners. Once you have all of your snaps added, you can snap them all closed. And there is your tray. This one is a little bit long, but it would be great to hold things in there. Now, if you want to sew the sides of your fabric tray instead of doing snaps, that would be, it's a little more permanent. So what you do is you fold at the corner so that you're matching up your two long sides, and you want to find with a ruler where this height between this straight edge and this angle is 1 inch. You can also do 2 inches if you want it to be a taller side, but I'm just going to do 1 inch like this. Do you see how that 1 inch marks right there? And then I'm going to mark it, and I'm going to pin it in place. So when I sew it, I'm going to actually sew right across this edge, top stitch at the top and at the bottom. And we're going to do that to all the corners. Once you have these sewn, you can add, you can fold this down and press it if you want to have a nice crease. Since this one is permanent, it's nice to have that crease there to kind of help the tray stand up. But if you are doing the one with snaps, I did not press my sides because I want to be able to open these snaps and store it flat. So I don't want to have creases in here that would make it a little bit harder to store. I can't wait to see all of the fabric trays that you make. Please share them with me on social media, and I hope you have a wonderful day.